The tinnitus community has so many good things going for it, but there's also some really dark places. And just a few months ago, I was able to host an event for the tinnitus community in San Francisco. I wanted to share some unfiltered thoughts and reflections on my experiences with the tinnitus community. So here's what happened. About a year ago, I had decided that I wanted to get people from the tinnitus community to show up in person for a real world event. The reason is about 4 years ago, I started this YouTube channel, and most people who've watched videos and who've got help and information regarding tinnitus have never met me in person, and I've never been able to meet you. Additionally, we've helped over 5,000 people in our tinnitus telehealth program, treblehealth.com, and I haven't been able to meet too many of them in person either. On top of that, half of my team, half of my employees, there's 15 employees at Treble Health, half of them I've never met in person either. So all of this coming together had led towards this perfect storm of, hey, let's get people together in person and do a special event. So in 2024, we did one in New York City and one in San Francisco, and the tinnitus community was really coming together. I wanted to share some personal reflections on what exactly went wrong with these events. So first off, it was way more stressful than I could have imagined. And if you have tinnitus, you know that dealing with stress, it can really impact our health, right? The nervous system can be put in this high alert state. It can put us into the fight or flight response. We might start to behave differently around our family, our friends, our work. We just get kind of tight and bothered and really, short-tempered. So it turns out that I was pretty stressed out simply by putting this event together. I was the main organizer in chief. Next, the schedule for the event. It didn't exactly go the way that I had hoped, although it did turn out to work pretty well. And then finally, the location. The location of the event in San Francisco, it wasn't perfect. I got some feedback from the community of, hey, this neighborhood, it's not the best neighborhood. And, I learned something from that. But essentially what happened at the event was people got to meet other folks who had tinnitus. And there was a table in the middle of the event that was for people to speak with each other. The conversations that I was overhearing seemed to be focused on point number one: what exactly can I do to get better? So people were asking each other, hey, have you tried this? Have you tried sound therapy? Have you tried hearing aids? Have you tried linear? These are the kinds of questions that people were asking each other. And additionally, the second point that I saw pretty common at this event in the tinnitus community was that some people came and they didn't seem very open to the idea that there was something they could do for their tinnitus. And I empathize with that. I understand where they're coming from because they've probably tried multiple things on their own after they went to their local doctor and were told there wasn't much that could be done for tinnitus in the first place. So it's really hard to get out of that place. And we know that tinnitus is a hard condition to just quickly improve. I was sad and I was a bit emotional to see some people who showed up to the event who it almost seemed like they had given up on their tinnitus, or that they weren't really ready to even consider trying anything like the Treble Health program or a tinnitus treatment because they were just skeptical that there was anything that could be done. And I totally get where they're coming from. On top of that, I wanted to comment on the tinnitus community that something that seems like it would be good for us, but somehow just might do more damage than help us, are online forums or Facebook groups. So just think about this. Maybe it presents a false skew on the actual nature of tinnitus and who is impacted by it. Because when I'm struggling with a condition, for example, if you're struggling with tinnitus, you might go on and find yourself on a Reddit forum or the Tinnitus Talk community forum or a Facebook group where people are commenting and asking questions. About half the time, it's sort of just sharing the real world experience of how difficult it is to live with the constant sound in the head and how it's affecting sleep or work, or it just feels like their life has kind of been flipped upside down. Tough position. And I only have a mild degree of tinnitus. I've never gone through a serious severe bout of tinnitus, although about half of our doctors on our team at Treble Health have. We talk about it all the time. Of course, we talk to thousands of patients every year about it. So, I'm very familiar and I empathize at the least. The least thing I can do is empathize with that experience. So these online forums are a place where people go when their symptoms are at their worst, and they use it to vent or to ask questions or just to share, like, hey, you guys know what I'm going through. I just got to share this thing that's going on. That serves a valid purpose. But where I feel like these online communities can go wrong is they can create the perception that everyone with tinnitus is suffering from it. And they can also trigger the fight or flight response and negatively impact our fear and anxiety response to the sound of tinnitus, which, if we understand the neurophysiology, the neuroscience of this, how the auditory nerve system interacts with the limbic system in the fight or flight response, we start to learn that when my brain focuses more on the tinnitus sound, or when I categorize it, when I think of it in a negative way, then the brain starts to learn, oh, yeah, the tinnitus, it is a threat. Tinnitus is bothersome. Tinnitus is something that I'm trying to eliminate. Tinnitus is something that I hate. It's something that I don't want. It's something that I wish was gone. It's something that's taking away my life. It's something that's taking away my joy, my energy. Now, some of those things obviously might apply to you because they apply to most people who are living with challenging tinnitus. But feeding into the stories or choosing to go online and see those stories, hear those stories, almost feeding into the fear in a way, what it inadvertently does is it makes it harder to reduce tinnitus and promote the neuroplasticity that's needed to reduce the perception and often the volume of tinnitus during a treatment period or during a period of time when your tinnitus does get better. Just wanted to have that really important point for the tinnitus community. Now, back to the San Francisco event. As you're seeing here on the screen of what the event was like, I was amazed that people came from hours away. So for those who are familiar with California, people came from about an hour and a half away in the East Bay, the far East Bay of the Bay Area. And they also came all the way from Silicon Valley to San Francisco. About 40 people came to the event, and we had 20 doctor consultations. So I wanted to offer people who came to the event that they could have a one-on-one conversation or a consultation with a tinnitus expert from our team at Treble Health. Now, typically we do that in a telehealth format over Zoom. And if you guys haven't already and you want to book a call to have a telehealth consultation with a specialist, we'll include that link right there, or you can head over to our site. At the event, we were able to do this in person, and it was amazing. It was great. I loved seeing my team interact with patients in the real world. My first love was being a tinnitus provider at a clinic in San Francisco at UCSF Medical Center. So for this to now happen in person again in San Francisco was really special to me. On a personal level, I was honored and grateful to have everyone show up. It means a lot to me that we could put this together. Part of why I keep doing this is because I love to serve people, and I love community, and I love to make people's health better, right? If I can be your guide or be in support of you when you're trying to get your health in a better place, your hearing, your mental health, your sleep, your energy, that affects how you show up in the world. So that's why doing what you can to improve tinnitus can make a big compounding change in the other areas of life that are so important to you and that you shine in. So in terms of next steps, I wonder, where should we go next? If you can leave a comment here on YouTube of the city or the state that you live in, and whether you'd come if I showed up to your town or to your city or to your state with this Treble Health live experience, bringing tinnitus experts and getting to meet you in person. Let me know where you live, where you would show up if I came and visited. We probably plan to do New York City 2025 and San Francisco 2025, but I'd love to take this show to your nearest town. Thank you guys so much. This is Dr. Ben Thompson, founder of Treble Health. If anyone would like to speak with our team, we'll put a link right there at the end of this video. Otherwise, you know how to find us. Keep in touch and be well.